Hello students, welcome to today's class. In our previous class, we looked at the topic dangers of political apathy. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the topic dangers of political apathy 2. Under this topic, we're going to be looking at the consequences of political apathy. Let us start by looking at the consequences. One is formation of irresponsive government. When citizens are not actively involved in the process that bring a particular government into power, such government will be an irresponsive government. So what that means is that when citizens do not participate in the process that brings in a government, when that government come on board, the government is going to become irresponsive, because to him, he knows how he came into power. 2 is denial of political rights. Citizens who do not participate in politics have personally denied themselves the opportunity to enjoy their political rights. What that means is that 1, you have the right to vote and you have the right to be voted for. So when you don't participate in politics, you have denied yourself this right that you should have been enjoying. Number 3 is underdevelopment. When people refuse to hold government accountable for their actions and inaction, when people do not understand government policies and programs, and thereby incapable of contributing towards society growth and development. What this means is that when people do not show interest in politics, they will not be concerned whether government is using the money given them in the actual way, the way they should use it, and they also will not be concerned about looking into the policies that government are making, whether it's in the best interest of the people or not. So all of these are some of the effects of political apathy. Another one is accession to political office by charlatan. Political apathy leads to the accession of charlatans or mediocre to political office. So when those who have what it takes refuse to get involved in politics and allow it to those who are not well informed or are not mentally trained, when they get into office, it is what they can do, they will start doing. Of course, you cannot give what you do not have. So when people are not well educated and they have an opportunity, they will also use it at the level that they can they do as much as they can do. So it is also good for those who have what it takes to come into politics, instead of leaving it for those who might not be able to meet up. And I think that is one of the basic problem of Nigeria. Number 5 is formation of illegitimate government. Any government that do not derive its power from the people is illegitimate. So when any government is formed and the purpose for coming into office is not in the right process, that government become an illegitimate government. Number 6 is occurrence of electoral malpractice. When many people do not participate in politics, the few ones that participate may use the opportunity to rig the election. So when people refuse to participate in politics, this is the problem. The few ones who will come out to participate, they use that process to rig the election in their favor. So we will now look at why leaders fail to protect the interests of their followers. There are so many reasons why leaders fail to do so. One of the reasons is selfishness. Many political office holders are not patriotic, neither are they true nationalists. They are in politics in order to acquire wealth for themselves and family members. So the major reason they are in politics is for themselves and their family members. So for that, they are not concerned whether to protect the interests of their followers or not. The other one is party interest. Some political office holders, on assuming office, begin to protect the interests of their party members only, without minding other citizens who do not participate or who do not belong to this political party. So when they come into office, their first reason, or their major reason, is to protect the interest of their party members. So if you are not in their party, they are not concerned about you. And of course, majority or a large numbers of people might not be in that party. And of course, when you win an election, you're supposed to become a government of the people, not a government of a particular party. Number 3 is not voted into power. Some leaders get into power through elections that are characterized with irregularities. So when such a leader will come to power, of course he knows how he came into power. He will not be concerned about the people, because he knows how he manipulated the system to come in. Another one, which is number 4, is lack of political will. Some people come into politics not because they want to serve, but because they want to belong to the political class for their own selfish gain. So major reason why some people come into politics is about how to measure up, to get along, or to get involved, or to begin to start rubbing shoulder with some certain persons in the society. So their own is just to raise their own level, to become one of those that are rated as very important person in the society. So their own is just a particular aim they are trying to achieve for themselves, not because they are concerned about the people. Number 5 is international influence. We cannot rule out the fact that some African leaders today are still tied to the apron of their colonial masters, countries, or to other global bodies such as World Bank and International Monetary Fund (IMF). Such leaders prefer to dance to the tune of their former colonial masters than their followers. So leaders who are concerned about hard currency, who are concerned about dollars, euros, and pounds, how much they can get from international countries, are not really concerned about their follower. They are more concerned about what these international members will tell them to do than what their follower will be suggesting for them. We now look at ways of discouraging political apathy. One of the ways of discouraging political apathy is by promoting political awareness and education, like what we are doing now, for people to get informed, to understand what politics is all about, and that will also now therefore encourage them to come in and put in their best. Number 2 is by enhancing development. So it is very important that our government put into consideration the importance of investing in infrastructure and building up this country, so that people will begin to start seeing the taxpayers' money being used judiciously, and as such, everybody will begin to start getting the importance of getting involved in politics. Number 3 is by creating greater opportunities for citizens. It is very, very important that citizens are given opportunity to become better in the society, in the area of job, in the area of empowerment, in the area of other things that can help them become a relevant person in the society. So when everybody is able to meet up in that, then the importance, or the reason, or one of the reason of joining up politics, and also to contribute their own quota, will become a matter of concern to them. By avoiding unnecessary discrimination against sex, religion, and state of origin. So it is not really important whether the person is a girl or a boy. What is important is that if the person have what it takes to deliver, to serve, and to provide his own wealth of knowledge to lead the country to another level. It's not also important whether the person is a Christian or is a Muslim. What is important, if the person have what it takes to lead the country, that should be the concern. Another thing is, it's not really also very important where the person is from, whether the person is from Edo, whether the person is from Adamawa, whether the person is from Enugu, whether the person is from Odo. That shouldn't be the concern. The concern is that, does that person have what it takes to provide to the leadership need of the country. Another thing is by improving the quality of governance. It's also very important that governance quality should be improved from what it is now to what is obtainable globally. When people begin to start seeing difference in how governance are taken or organized, people also will begin to start showing interest in politics. Then by ensuring free, fair, and credible electoral process. So when the electoral process becomes fair, that people begin to start seeing that their vote is counting, those that they voted for are those that are announced the winner. So all of that will also now give them the interest and courage to begin to start wanting to participate more in politics. But number 7 is that by carrying everybody along in the process of development, when everybody get to involve in the process of developing the country, everybody interest also would have been grown, and as such everybody will want to participate in that same protest. This is all we are going to take in this lesson. Now our next lesson we'll look at another topic. I'll see you in my next class.